Hello, everyone. This is something of a comprehensive review of Stronghold Crusader 2, and this is more on my initial tidbits. I haven't played the game thoroughly, but I have experimented with it enough to kind of get the feel for it. Off the bat, I will say it's a good game. It is actually a great game. I enjoy the hell out of it. I'm enjoying the hell out of it so far, and I do have a few nitpicks on this game. There's a few things that did bother me, but nothing game breaking. This isn't as bad as Stronghold 2 when that came out. Now, I will say that I have never played Stronghold 3 because after the crap fest that was Stronghold 2, now admittedly the game is much more stable, much more playable now than it was from the get-go, but that release was horrible. That was a horrible release. And yes, they have patched it since, so if you go and pick it up, it's actually a decent game. The same with Legends, although I thought Legends was kind of a letdown too. There was some good concepts in it, but they didn't really do much for me. And then after I heard Stronghold 3 was a complete and utter garbage fest, I said, yeah, I'm done with Firefly until they can turn around and do something nifty. And they did. Admittedly, I think it did have a lot to do with the publishers they were working with, because this one is self-published. This is totally Firefly working at their own pace and time, etc. And I feel like it's paid off now. So the complaints I have, one, and this is the biggest one, is the unit and building limits. I get why they're there. I understand why they're there. It's to keep the game stable so it doesn't lag out and cause a crash, because there's a lot of detailed things going on there. The problem is that when you have 8 players on there, you're limited to 125 units and 50 buildings. Now, with the way the economies work in this game and with the way that troops work in this game, you cannot function that way. Cannot. You cannot do a 7v1 and be able to survive with just 125 guys and 50 buildings. Because you think about how complicated these economies are, that just isn't going to work. There's no way, shape, or form that 50 buildings is enough to sustain yourself. And for those of you who've played the game, you know what I'm talking about. You need farming buildings, you need industrial buildings, you need armorers, you need spear makers, you need mace makers, etc. You need weapon makers. And you cannot function effectively with just 50 buildings. You can't. It's impossible. 125 guys. How are you supposed to defend from 7 players at one time and still be able to take them on? Because there are some people that like that. They like the overwhelming challenge of having to fight 7 AI opponents or 7 human opponents. I admit the 7 human opponent one's kind of rare, but even then, it only really works if you do it 4v4 in a multiplayer map, because that's when all 4 teams really have to work together to do shit. So, and then they also added in this co-op mode where it's like 2 people can manage the same castle, which I thought was pretty nifty. I haven't experimented with it, but I think that's a nifty idea. It's an interesting idea. The unit types you can get, there's some new ones. I didn't really get into them very much, but I know one is basically like this AoE type guy. I think it's called the Diverse or something like that. Basically really good against light infantry, not really good against heavily armored guys. There's 2 variants of the catapults, although I don't really know the specific difference between the 2. I imagine one is simply stronger than the other because it costs more, so I imagine it's just a stronger version of the catapult. Trebuchets are in there. What siege? Yeah, they got rid of ladders. I don't know why they got rid of ladders, but then again, I never fucking used them, so I'm not too miffed that those are gone. The tunnelers, they're gone, but I don't even think they were in Stronghold 2. The other mercenaries you can get. There's I think it's called the Sassanid Cavalry. It's basically a mounted, armored Arabian knight, more or less. The regular knights that you have to, get armor and all that stuff for, they can dismount. These guys cannot. They're basically, if you've played Medieval Total War, or I think even in Age of Empires 2, they are the what do you call them? They're the mounted guys that have like the armor from start to finish all the way down. Or no, they're not in Medieval Total War. They're in Rome Total War. That's basically what they are. You have the assassin. The slingers aren't in there, I don't think. The Arabian archers are in there. The slaves are in there. There's a slave master, which makes the other slaves fight better. There's also a couple other units that they added in. One I think it's called like the not the marshal, the man at arms or something like that. And he's supposed to kind of function the same way as the slave master in that he benefits other like European type guys. The AI opponents, even the rat is competent in this one, which I will say is impressive. I wasn't too impressed with his voiceover. I mean, this is a small thing, but I liked his old voiceover. I liked how skittish he was. I liked how just rambunctious and annoying he sounded. But in this one, he seems actually more competent, less skittish. So I was like, well, that kind of defeats the purpose of the character. But overall, the AI itself functions well enough. The rat does what the rat does. He just chunks guy after guy after guy. You hope that'll resolve his problem, but obviously it won't, because usually players are more competent than he is. And the same with fuck. He's basically the new version of the Sultan. I forget his name. But he's kind of the same way. He just chucks a few guys. You're like, oh yeah, send like 10 guys out and deal with it. Oh, it didn't go well, and then whatever. He's just kind of, as long as he doesn't bother me, I don't care. Other things that I want to nitpick. That's really anything I can really hammer this game for. Not really. There's nothing that really stands other than the unit limit and the building limit. There's really nothing I can hamper this one. I haven't played the skirmish trail. I haven't played the campaign yet. I'm going to get into those. Those will probably be covered in a Let's Play, so those will be a review as I do them, but this is just my initial impression. This isn't a full-blown review. Also, I cannot for the life of me find the fucking map editor. I saw on Steam forums that it's in library tools, and then there's the map editor. I cannot find the library. I found libraries, but there's no tools folder there, so I don't know where the hell it is. So if anybody can tell me where that thing is supposed to be or make a video about it, that would be really nice. Because there's some maps I want to make. I also noticed that, and I think this may have been done in Stronghold 3, but a lot of like the industrial, like the workers, if you will, they move a lot slower than they do in like Stronghold Crusader and the original Stronghold. I understand why they did it that way. The way the economies are working this, at first I was like, how am I supposed to function with this amount? Like, how am I supposed to do this? Once I figured things out, I'm like, oh, okay, so it does work. It's totally balanced out. The economy is definitely balanced out. It's just it's all about placement and management and stuff like that. It's really complex, but really simple once you figure it out. Like, initially it's overwhelming, but then once you figure things out, it's like, oh, actually, this isn't that bad. And, taxing your people, that actually is a viable way to sustain income. It really is a viable way now. In the original Crusader game, it really was not. There was no way, shape, or form you could function solely off of that. They also made buildings cost a lot more resources. I'm kind of hit or miss with that one, but I guess it's also because you can buy en masse, like you can buy a shitload of resources for somewhat relatively cheap. It's mainly the soldiers that are going to drive up the costs of things and constantly repairing your stuff and all that jazz. There's also a healer unit, which freaking God, this game needed one badly. Stronghold Crusader, you get tired of just seeing all your guys with red health bars. You're like, oh, what can I do? I mean, all you can do, if you care about your score like I used to, is you could just disband them, then rehire them. Problem is you're wasting money, more or less, because that unit, while only having red HP, could still survive a good chunk of time, as long as he's not the one that's getting targeted. But overall, I would say it's a solid entry. It's definitely a step in the right direction for the series and for Stronghold in general. I like the game. I approve of it. I recommend anyone buy it. If you're a fan of the old Crusader, you'll love this one. Barring the whole unit / building limits, which even in if you're doing like a 1v1, you're only limited to like 100 buildings. I don't understand why the fuck there's a building limit. That just doesn't make any fucking sense. The troop limit I kind of get. But the building limit, not so much. But then again, well, actually, even then, they limited how many stockpiles you can have. They limited the stockpiles to 1. Which, unless stockpiles have unlimited space, I don't get. Because the granaries and the armories, I believe, have unlimited space. So it makes sense for you to only need to have to build 1. Which I'm actually happy with, because it got annoying trying to mass up, not stockpiles, but, granaries, not so much, but armories, that's it. Massing up armories in the old Crusader games, that got frustrating after a while, but even then, it's like, once I got the weapons, I just used them off the get-go, and usually I was kind of cycling through, so even just 2 armories could sustain me. Granaries, I've never really saw the need to build more than 1 unless you're using farming as your main income, like, you sell your excess food off to get money, which food can make you a lot of money. And it can in this one, too. There's also the way the hovel system works, and this is a little bit different. And I didn't notice it until I saw a video by I think his name's like actually, I'm not even going to mispronounce his name out of respect for him, but I'll leave a link down below to his skirmish playthrough. He's been uploading Stronghold Crusader 2 videos. So if you want to check his stuff out, he's really good at this game. I would even say he's better than me by not by a long shot, but I think he's generally better than me. He gets the concepts better than I do. I will say that. He definitely gets the concept, because this guy was doing he had everything explained down to the fucking letter. So if you want a more comprehensive discussion about the game and what it's like to actually play it, I'll leave that link down below so you guys can check it out. And check out his other videos. He's actually done some good videos. Commentary isn't all that great, but I don't think he's doing it for the sake of commentary, but that's just my opinion. That's just me saying so. I mean, he's not terrible. He is not terrible. He's had his moments where he's amusing, but generally, I don't think he's not really doing it for the, he's not, I don't know how to describe it, but either way, his content's great. He makes some good videos. I will say that. His videos are good. You'll enjoy them. If you enjoy if you think I'm good at this game, you'll definitely think he's good at this game. He also does a lot of multiplayer games. I don't know. He has like a rule. I think he only allows certain people to play with him for certain times because he has so many coming at him at once. So he tries to make room for everybody, which is respectable. I totally get why he would do that when you have like 15,000 subscribers. Something I haven't dealt with, but I have been offered to play multiplayer games with people. The problem is I have such a hectic schedule that I really cannot do it. Which I know it sounds like a bunch of bullshit when it comes to the fact that I've uploaded so many videos, but that's the thing is if I'm not busy recording, I'm busy doing other things. Because when I record, that's just me in my free time, and I want to keep an excess amount of videos for me to upload in case I decide to take a long ass break from Let's Playing and lo and behold, my channel goes inactive. So I need to keep the videos in a constant supply. Now, there will come times where I won't upload videos because, generally I upload Monday through Friday, sometimes on the weekend. In this case, the weekend was a special exception because Stronghold Crusader 2 just came out, and I wanted to get those Crusader videos uploaded. I don't know if I'm going to do a good versus me video set, but I might do it. And I'm also in the middle of recording Rome Total War, and with this game coming out, I don't know if I'm going to get that. Well, I know I'm going to get it finished, but I don't know when I'm going to get it finished. But right now, it's kind of just chilling out in my external hard drive right there, which is full up on space. But I got a spare one, 4 terabytes, so that'll occupy me for a while. But that's my general consensus. If I had to give it a score off the get go, I'd say it's an 8 out of 10, easy 8 out of 10, maybe even an 8.5 once they start getting more of the stuff released. Like they're going to upload or they're going to release more AI opponents. I don't know if they're going to cost any money, but if they do, I doubt they'll cost much, like maybe $1 or something like that. Just for Firefly to get some extra pocket money, and they'll release patches and bug fixes and stuff like that for any bugs I have. I didn't see any off the get go, but I may have just simply overlooked them. But I'm pretty sure there's bugs in this game. I mean, what game comes out that doesn't have bugs and glitches and whatnot? But other than that, what did you guys think of Stronghold Crusader 2 if you haven't played it? And if you're unsure of it, I would say it's a good game. If you liked the original Stronghold Crusader, you would like this one. There are some things, like I said, that bothered me, but no game is perfect. Even Skyrim, Grand Theft Auto 5, all those other games that a lot of people say is the perfect game in the world, there's a lot of things about those that bother me, but I still enjoy them for what they are. So with that being said, folks, I'm Luca Blight69, and I will see you all soon for more videos.